Hello everyone. In our today's session, we will discuss drug distribution. In our previous lecture series, we discussed that the drug absorptions. What is the drug absorptions? How the drug is going to absorb? Which factors that affect the absorptions of the drug? Now, today we will discuss the next process, that is the distribution. So once the drug is enter into the blood circulation after absorption, drug is subjected to the drug disposition process. Now what is the disposition process? Disposition process means the process in which the concentrations of the drug is going to decrease. So main the two process is responsible to decrease the concentrations of the drug in blood circulation, that is the distribution and elimination. In our today's session, our main focus is in point 1, that is nothing but the distribution. So we will discuss the distribution in details. Now here, what is the distribution? Distribution means it is the reversible transfer of the drug between the two compartments, from compartment 1 to compartment 2, and always the compartment 1, that is nothing but the blood, means after absorption of the drug that enter into the bloodstream, so that bloodstream is considered as a first compartment. So, in other sense, we can say is that distribution means the movement of drug from blood to the different part of body, means the extracellular tissue. That is the distribution. Now, what is the importance of the distribution? So simply, the pharmacological actions of the drug is depends on the concentrations of the drug at site of action, means the quantity of drug that is available at site of action, and that quantity of drug available at site of action is depends on the distribution. So distribution plays the important role in onset of action, intensity of the drug action, and duration of action. These all the things that depends on the movement of drug, means the distribution of the drug. If we talk about the distribution is the two-step process. First step, that is the permeation of the free drug through the capillary wall, through the blood vessels to the extracellular fluid. And second step, that is the permeation of the drug from extracellular fluid to the intracellular fluid through the membrane of the tissue cell. Okay, here this is the chart. The movement of drug from blood to the extracellular fluid, and from extracellular fluid to the intracellular fluid. So distribution is two-step process. Now in this two-step, the different factors will influence. We will see this all the factors one by one. So let's see the factors affecting the distribution. First factor, that is the tissue permeability of the drug, in which first one, that is a physicochemical properties, like the molecular size is there, pK value of the drug is there, partitions coefficient is there. It will affect the permeability of the drug. And second one is, it is the major factor, that is a physiological barrier of the drug, uh, physiological barrier to diffusion of drug. Second factors, that is the perfusion rate and organ size. Third one, that is the binding of drugs to the tissue component. And final, that is the miscellaneous, means other factors. Now our first factor, that is the tissue permeability of the drug, in which the first one, that is the physiochemical properties of the drug. Now if I talk about the physiochemical properties of the drug, in which the first one, that is a molecular size. Molecular size will affect the distributions of the drug to the different part of body. If the molecular size is less than 500 to 600 Daltons, then it can easily cross the capillary membrane to the extracellular fluid. Means the first step is very easy if the molecular size is less than 500 to 600 Daltons. Permeations of the drug from extracellular fluid to the cells is a function of the molecular size. If the molecular size is too large, ultimately this permeations is very difficult. So molecular size of the drug should be optimum. It should cross near to all the barrier. Then only the drug can reach to the different part of body effectively. Later on, second factor, that is ionization constant and lipophilicity of drug. So second one is the degree of ionization. Degree of ionization is also called as a pK value. pH at which the half of the drug is unionized is called as a pK, and that pK will decide whether the drug is remain in unionized form or in ionized form in given pH. If the acidic environment is there, then the acidic drug is remain in the unionized form, and if the basic environment is there, then the acidic drug is remain in the ionized form. In the same way, vice versa for the base also. If the basic drug is there, then it will remain in the unionized form in larger proportion if the basic environment is provided, and it will be converted into the ionized form if the acidic environment is provided. But here pH of the blood, that is nothing but the plasma, extracellular fluid, everything is constant, that is 7.4, except the acidosis conditions, otherwise the alkalosis conditions. So all the drugs ionized at plasma pH, means the polar drug is there, hydrophilic drug is there, cannot penetrate through the lipidic cell membrane. Why? Because the cell membrane is lipidic in character, it will not easily allow the passage of ionized drug molecule. So pK is the play the important role in the distributions of the drug molecule. Now the next factor, that is the lipophilicity of the drug molecule. Drug PK is suitable, but if the drug is not sufficiently lipophilic, then ultimately the passage of the drug is not easy. Suppose hydrophilic drug is there, is remain in the unionized form, and lipophilic characters of that hydrophilic drug is very less. Even in the unionized form, it cannot easily permeate. So drug should possess the sufficient lipophilicity. Polar and hydrophilic drug are less likely to cross the cell membrane, while the non-polar and hydrophobic drug can easily cross the membrane because the cell membrane itself is lipophilic in characters. So for the driving force for the permeations through the cell membrane is the partition coefficient. Now here lipoidal drug penetrate the tissue rapidly among the drug with the same partition coefficient, but the different in ionizations of the drug pH. So lipophilicity plays the important role. Now the next factor, that is the physiological barriers. Different barriers that are available in our body, and that barriers provide the different integrity for passage of the drug molecule. In which the first simple barrier, that is the simple capillary endothelial barrier. These blood vessels. So in actual sense, this blood vessels is not act as a barrier, because if the drug is in the free form, so ultimately it can easily cross this barrier. Only drug with bound form cannot cross the barrier. So mostly all the drug molecule, whether it is in the ionized form or in the unionized form, with the molecular size less than 600 Dalton, can easily cross this barrier and it can enter into the extracellular fluid. Only protein bound drug, means the complex drug protein complex, cannot cross this barrier. So this one is a simple barrier, it will not provide the strict restrictions for the movement of the drug. Okay, so once the drug is entered into the extracellular fluid, later on drug is entered into the different barriers, and that barrier provide the comparatively strict restriction. Okay, now the second barrier, that is the simple cell membrane barrier. Once the drug is diffused through the capillary to the extracellular fluid, later on further entry into the cell of most of the tissue is limited. The simple cell membrane is similar to the lipoidal barrier, means that is similar to the gastric membrane. So non-polar and hydrophilic drug molecules will easily cross this barrier. Lipophilic drug with the 50 to 600 Dalton molecular size and hydrophilic drug with less than 50 Daltons can cross this membrane. Lipophilic drug with this Daltons, means 50 to 600 Daltons, pass by the passive diffusions, and hydrophilic drug with the less than 50 Daltons pass through the pore transport mechanism. This transport mechanism that we already discussed in our absorption chapter. So here the simple cell membrane is comparatively strict compared to the simple endothelial barrier. So here drug can easily distribute to the different tissue compartment, normal tissue compartment. But for the entry into the brain, the special barrier is available that is called as a BBB, blood brain barrier. This blood brain barrier is comparatively strong, strict. It will not allow the passage of all the drug molecule. Only drug with the very high lipophilicity and suitable size can cross this barrier. Otherwise, drug cannot cross this barrier. Here the first bottom layer, that is the capillary endothelial. This capillary endothelial is the tight junction. It will not allow the passage of moderately polar and polar drug molecule. It will allow the passage of lipophilic drug molecule only. Later on, basement membrane is there. This basement membrane possesses the parasite and astrocytes. It will provide the support layer. This basement layer possesses the two-layer system, that is the parasite and astrocytes. It will provide the support, and upper layer, that is the glial cells. So this three-layer system is there. Main three compartment system is there. One is the capillary, tight capillary endothelial system. Later on, basement membrane is there, and later on, glial cell is there. So drug has to cross this all the barrier, then drug will enter into the extracellular fluid of the brain, and through which extracellular fluid drug can enter into the brain. So these three compartment, these three barrier, once crossed by the drug, later on drug can enter into the brain. It is very tight junction. Here discussion is there. So capillary in brain is highly specialized and much less permeable to the water soluble drug. It will not allow the passage of drug, astrocytes and parasites. It will provide the support layer, and later on glial cell is there. Once this all the cell is crossed, drug is enter into the brain. So to cross this all the barrier, drug should possess the sufficient lipophilicity. Polar drug can cross this BBB, but it crossed by carrier mediated transport mechanisms. It crossed by the carrier mediated transport mechanism. Now here, which type of drug can cross the barrier? If the drug is lipophilic, otherwise if the drug is hydrophilic is there, so how we can deliver this hydrophilic drug to the brain for the treatment of brain disease? Suppose for example, here in Parkinson disease, the dopamine level is going to decrease. So to maintain, otherwise to increase the dopamine level, there is need to supply the dopamine to the brain, but the dopamine is a hydrophilic character, so dopamine cannot cross the BBB. So we should convert the dopamine into the lipophilic moiety, and that is nothing but the levodopa. We provide the levodopa to the patient, and that levodopa cross the BBB, and later on it enter into the brain, and in brain that levodopa will convert into the dopamine, and by this way we can treat the Parkinson disease. We can reduce the symptoms of the Parkinson disease by the levodopa. Different approaches are used to supply the moderately lipophilic and hydrophilic drug to the brain. In that first approach is there, that is the use of permeation enhancer. Dimethyl sulfoxide is there. Okay, it is the permeation enhancer. It will increase the permeability of the BBB, and by this way we can deliver the drug to the brain. Second approach, that is the prodrug approach. That is, as we discussed, dopamine is converted into the levodopa. Levodopa is the prodrug. Once it's entered into the brain, it will be converted into the active moiety. Third one, that is the carrier systems. carrier system in which the special carrier is used, that is the dihydropyridine. It is the redox system. So drug make the complex with the dihydropyridine, and that complex is lipophilic in character. It will cross the barrier and it will enter into the brain. Inside the brain with the brain enzyme, that carrier will break, that complex will break, carrier is dissociated and free drug is released into the brain, will provide the suitable actions. So by this way we can deliver the drug to the brain. Other barriers are there, that is the blood CNS barrier is there, blood CSF barrier is there, placenta barrier is there. This all the barrier that we will discuss in our next session. Thank you very much.